How's it going, everyone? Thanks for tuning in today. This is going to be episode 16 of Mail and Hobby Talk. And as I was getting prepared for this, I realized I haven't done one of these in about 8 months. Reason for that is I took a little bit of a break from social media, mainly from like Instagram and even just hobby content on YouTube is getting a little burnout. But I am back. Got a new setup. Hopefully it looks and sounds a lot better than it did previously. And I will give you a bit of a warning. We're going to be going on a little bit of a rant today on some things. We'll jump into our first topic, and I've covered this in 2 videos already, but card cleaning. This is just going to be my final thoughts on the situation. I'm not going to go into depth. You can look at those 2 videos to go in a little bit deeper on the topic, but it's kind of interesting. I posted to Instagram, these videos as well as some commentary, and it was really a big divide there. It is very little engagement on my post. I normally get, a decent engagement on hobby topics I bring up. But yeah, it was literally like crickets out there when I posted this to Instagram. So I feel like there's a really big divide when it comes to this topic. And apparently, if you're against card cleaning, you're considered a hobby purist. That's at least a term I've seen thrown around. I guess this means that you value like collecting over flipping. I'm not entirely sure there. You could comment down below if you know what that term means. I've only seen it in the past couple of years, to be honest. But my thoughts on this real quick. We're going to put final thoughts, put it to bed. Bottom line, the grading companies, they're against these practices. This, card soaking, card cleaning, all that kind of stuff. Now, they've considered this altering for a very long time, and that hasn't changed. PSA came out and doubled down on it. They also said they couldn't detect it, which is pretty bad because then you're going to give people the green light to go ahead and do this. It is what it is. But from the point of view of like longtime collectors, this is considered alteration. It just is. Since these cards really are destined to land in the hands of a collector eventually, once they've been flipped amongst flippers and investors or whatever, this is a problem for people like me that collect. Now, personally, I don't give a crap about high-graded cards, really. I could care less. I collect for fun most of the time, so it doesn't really affect me. But I think if you look at the hobby as a whole, and really if you're only caring about the value of cards, you're doing yourself even a disservice, because when you're creating these higher grades, it actually devalues the cards that were graded legitimately, or what I'm going to call legitimately, without having to clean them, soak them, alter them, essentially. So you're sacrificing like the integrity of yourself and the hobby as a whole, and the long-term stability of the card market, just so you can make a couple extra bucks. I just have a big problem with it, and I've spoke out against it many times at this point. I created 2 videos, go back and watch them. But personally, I collect for the love of just collecting. So to me, stuff like tobacco stains or beat up edges, creases even, it kind of shows a story behind the card. So I'd almost encourage people that are into collecting more to look for that kind of stuff. It's like those cards to me, and we'll take a look at it, some of them here, because I've gotten some in the past couple months. We've got like 6 months plus of mail to look at, but it's kind of nice to see those kind of things, because I know it was collected, it was cherished. And I kind of feel bad for the collectors nowadays that are just hyper focused on card values. One additional thing that I didn't point out in my other videos is, if we want this card cleaning to become the norm, we need to talk to the grading companies, and they need to accept it and label it. It's just like CGC or they're a comic grader. They do for comics. They actually label them as restored if they were restored. And I know there's situations nowadays where they will take certain cleaning that's done to the card and not even consider it to be alteration or needing the restoration label, right? I think it's like if they press it or doing some mild cleaning. But if they go to extreme lengths, they do label those as restored. So if you all want to have this be legit where you don't have to hide it and you can go do your card cleaning and whatever, it's just important that it gets labeled. That's just my opinion on it. That's a way for people doing this kind of stuff, again, not to have to hide it. So we're going to put that to bed, and we're going to move on to some mail. All right. So I do have a number of cards that I've gotten in, like I said, over the past 6 months that it's been, or 6-7 months since I've really done one of these and accumulated mail. We're going to start with, and I've got more than this, but I got to split them up. Probably do like the next bunch in my next Mail and Hobby Talk. But I did pick out some Gallinari that I really am happy about picking up these past 6 months or so. And this is not everything that I picked up for Gallinari. He is one of my PC players, but these are just ones I wanted to show you that I thought were nice. I did pick up this Crown Royale Silhouettes Prime. And so these were numbered to 11. I think this is like the first off the line edition. It says premium edition. Typically these ones are going to be numbered, I think out of 25, but this is like the first off the line variation. This is his time on the Thunder, so 1920. But yeah, pretty cool little, I don't know, that might be Clippers logo there, I would imagine. But yeah, pretty cool card. Next up, we've got this jersey number. So this is 8 out of 25, his jersey. And this is out of Immaculate. Let's see, 21-22. And this is when he was on the Hawks. So Gallinari is actually on the Bucks now. We'll be picking up some Bucks cards whenever they feature him. Who knows how long that's going to take with Panini being so behind. But eventually I'll grab his cards on the Bucks as well. Back another one when he was on the Hawks. And this one is pretty cool patch. I've showed off one of these in the past. The patches are pretty nice in these. It's kind of weird, like the split design, but when these show up and they look decent, I usually go after them. And this is 21-22. Flawless. Out of 10. Lucky enough to grab this 101 out of Select. This is also a Hawks card. It's out of 2021. And so this is a 101. I guess it's your black 101, maybe. There's like so many 101s anymore. I can't keep track, but I think I got this one for 65, 70 bucks, so not too bad. I'm not trying to go after too many 101s of Gallinari, to be honest. I do like the true black parallels, if that's in fact what this is. And I typically try to stick to stuff like that instead of your shimmer 101s and first off the line 101s or whatever they have nowadays. Next here, I thought this was pretty cool. So this is his finest XRC and the draft redemption card. So kind of cool having those both together. I did buy them as a pair, got shipped out as a pair. I guess whoever probably pulled this redeemed it. So this is just the base card. I think I do have a draft redemption of a refractor as well. So this one will be going in the binder, but just kind of cool to have those together. Next up, we have this 2014 Prism Gold Prism, graded a 9. So, yes, I still collect graded cards as well, occasionally, when I see them show up. I will not be cracking this one. I actually have a copy already for my binder. But just a nice looking card from 14-15. This is pretty high up when it comes to like my favorite Prism designs. I do like the Year After a little bit better, but yeah, always will grab these 14-15. I really have a lot of nostalgia for that time period as well. And then last up, this is kind of an odd one. This is a 13-14 Gold Standard. This is a tag, and this is actually out of 2, if you can see on there. Trying to get this to focus in the camera. Yeah, 2 out of 2. And I saw this card sitting on eBay for years, right? And interestingly enough, it was just raw, right? Suddenly it shows up. It was like high price. I think the guy wanted $400 or something like that. So I just sat it out forever. And then it went away, and it shows up with this auto on it. I don't know why someone would get an autograph on this card, but the reason I did want this for so long is I do have the 1/2 copy here. I've had this one in my PC for quite a while. So what I think I'm going to do is crack this one out and actually wipe down the auto. Some of you may think that's kind of strange, but I have enough. I mean, man, you can get nice auto patch cards for Gallinari for literally like 10 or $15. So I just don't feel a need to have this autograph on it. It's not the greatest Gallinari autograph anyway. I mean, that kind of looks like his autograph, but again, I don't know why someone did this. So I guess technically I'm going to become a card alterer here pretty soon. So I will update you next time or whenever I do crack this out and get that wiped down. Now, guys, here's a free tip on removing autographs. If you want to become a card alterer yourself, go ahead and just use isopropyl alcohol, and that ink will rub right away. You don't want to do a whole ton of it, but I've done these in the past where you just kind of get a Q-tip a little bit wet and just rub it over that autograph there. You could have like a soft cloth or something to wipe it off with as well. So I guess I'm becoming a card alterer here pretty soon. All right, next topic. So I saw this Lememe James post that he threw up a couple of days ago. Basically what it says: if you made a deal but then got offered 2x more or 2 times more from another party, what would you do? And let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. I would keep my word, or I'd take the 2x. Okay. Man, this is going to be another mini rant, sorry. But half the people who answered this would back out on a deal if they're offered more money. It's, again, guys, like, it's just kind of sad to see. And I view this along the same lines, honestly, as like shield bidding. You're ultimately throwing integrity out the window just to make a couple extra bucks. It's crazy. But this seems to be mentality nowadays. And it goes back to what I was saying about like the long-term stability of the hobby, in my opinion. Do we want to burn collectors? Those of you that flip cards, which, again, I've said this in the past, there's nothing wrong with making money on cards and flipping them if you want. I'll flip cards occasionally to pay for other cards so I can afford them, more high-priced cards for like my PC and things like that. But there's only so many times that we can flip cards, guys, before they eventually have to land in the hands of a collector. And do we really want to ruin that like value that's within the hobby or maintains that like long-term stability? It's crazy. It's like the card cleaning, in my opinion. And I hate like putting people into separate camps, but I mean, the guys that flip have already called us hobby purist, apparently. So we're just going to say the 2020, 2021 flippers and labeling them as that. I honestly don't like doing that. I'll just be completely honest. I'd rather just like look at it as like the hobby as a whole. We're all in it together. Let's do its best for the hobby as a whole. I will say this many, many times more, probably. I mean, my channel is I don't know. There's other collecting channels out there for sure. Like a great one that comes to mind is Wax Museum podcast, and Kyle from Wax Museum, he does run his podcast, but he also has a YouTube channel strictly focused on collecting. It's great. There's other channels out there like that, but majority of hobby content nowadays is just about making money, and it's I don't know, it's just sad in a way. So I'm just gonna leave this up for you guys to decide. Maybe you can comment your thoughts, but man, is that sad that half of the hobby is so divided that they would just throw integrity out the window just to make some more money. All right, let's get back into cards. Okay, so this next stack, I know those of you who are eyeing it saw some Jokic. And so haven't bought a whole ton of Jokic cards recently. These are probably from last year, like that could even be 5 or 6 months ago at this point. But I did want to pick up some cards that had featured the Sombor Shuffle. Those of you who don't know, this is kind of the Sombor Shuffle where he steps back on one leg and shoots up a shot. He's done it from like 3-point line or even further back than that. And I just wanted to start a little PC of that. I found this Superstar out of Optic. It looks like it's Contenders Optic. Gold out of 10. Kind of a cool die cut too, as well. So I did pick up that one. And we've got a Murray out of Obsidian. These were numbered out of 99. This is like the blue. And then another Sombor Shuffle. Let's see a couple of these. This is the Hoops Silver. And that's out of 22-23 Optic. Again, like Sombor Shuffle. Going back on one leg. And yet another one. So this one is also Obsidian. Out of 22-23. And man, this is a cool looking card. I'll take this cover off here so you can check it out in more detail. But yeah, just a nice looking one there. I thought they did really well with this design. Again, a Sombor Shuffle move, so had to grab that one to go along with my Contenders Optic here. And we got the gold variation of that Hoops Premium. I'm sorry, did I say Optic on this one? This is Hoops Premium, actually. There's so many sets, man, I get confused. But yeah, this is the gold variation out of 10. Really nice looking one as well. And so that kind of covers, well, it doesn't cover all of my Nuggets pickups. We got one more in here. But I did want to show this one here. Before we go over that one, you might have already seen it. But if you didn't, we'll go over it in just a second. This is, I did pick up a number of 90s stuff as well. And we'll save that for like the next episode or something like that. It would be too much to show in one episode if I went over all the mail that I've accumulated recently, or the last like 6 to 8 months. This one is out of 99 Upper Deck Encore. Or what was the set name specifically? I guess it is Encore. This is a parallel. I can't remember what these are called exactly. Anyway, they're numbered at 125. Really cool looking card of Mark Jackson there. Won that one for fairly cheap. And then last up, one I've been needing for a while, is this 2008 and 09 Topps Chrome Gold of Carmelo. And yes, this one will be getting cracked for the binder. Probably come out with a video on that so people can hate on it. Why would you crack a card out of a PSA 9? But anyway, yeah, I'll be going into my binder. I do have, I think I'm one away from the full team set of 08-09. I think I'm missing the Iverson. No, you know what? I do have the Iverson, don't I? I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. I'm getting really close on completing like the full run of Topps Chrome Golds from all years. And this is like a big one that I needed. I did sell some cards to fund this one. And yeah, pretty excited about that one. All right. So last up, I'm going to try to leave this on a positive note. We're going to jump over to the hobby boards. And I think what I'll do in these Mail and Hobby Talk episodes moving forward is just highlight a thread that I find interesting over on the hobby boards. If you're not familiar with the hobby boards, go back to a video I did just announcing the hobby boards. Hasn't been quite a year, I don't think, that the hobby boards have been active, but yeah, so it's like 9 months. So this video right here, the launch announcement, you can go over there and check that one out. I have some tutorials on how to get set up and all that kind of stuff, but a lot of great content over there. I thought this one in particular was neat. So yeah, like I said, every time that I do these Mail and Hobby Talk, I'm going to highlight a topic that I find interesting. And this one here is from Sacramento King Cards, maybe. Overlooked and affordable collecting ideas. I thought this was a really great topic. So really what we're talking about here is just cards that you could get into. Maybe you're a player collector, a team collector, and you can get for relatively cheap and they look nice, right? So he says, I'll start with the 2000X sets from Certified, right? And I do think a lot of the Certified releases were pretty nice, you know? So that's one of his ideas. The base cards look pretty cool even, right? We got another suggestion here from Dar's 90s Cards. These are... let's see. What are these, the larger than life? Yeah, larger than life. Yep. These, I can't remember the year these came out of, but you could probably tell if you go over to the thread. Yeah, here's another larger than life. Really cool looking cards there. We do have a suggestion of these Slamboree from Fleer Mystique. Those are pretty cool. Fireworks from Prism. Those are always looking pretty nice. And then I love this one, the Flair showcase sets, Flair basketball in general, really great looking cards. But yeah, go check out this thread. Some really great ideas in here on what you could collect for cheap and put a set together, a team set or whatever. All right, so we got a little bit more mail to cover, then we'll wrap it up for this week. And we got non-sports. So those of you who have watched my Mail and Hobby Talk in the past know I am going after a set of these Royal Bengals. And these are like the men and women of history, or men of history. They had 2 series of these, series 1 and 2. So it does total out to 100 cards total. They had different variations among the different products. So like this one right here was the Panhandle Scrap, which is like chewing tobacco. And then they also had, that's another Panhandle Scrap. We had like the Royal Bengals little cigars. These ones came out in the early 1900s, featured a lot of like well-known, I don't know, celebrities of the time, or there's presidents in here. There's, you know, kings and queens and stuff like that. So yeah, just a couple I picked up. Robert Emmett. I'm not going to pronounce all these because I'm going to butcher it. Richard III of England. Cyrus W. Field. Captain Miles Standish. We've got Henry Stanley. I think he was an explorer. Duke of Wellington. And then one I picked up here, which there's only a couple cards that really go for a whole ton, like this George Washington. Pretty hard to find. And this, you know, not hard to find, I guess, but hard to get one at a decent price. The other one that I need that's a little bit more expensive is the Abraham Lincoln, so I'm looking for that one as well. I'm down to about 25 cards left, so hoping to complete it this year. So those are all the men and women of history cards there. And then this has kind of been a project of mine, actually, for probably dating back to about 2018, 2019. So I put full set, original series sets of Garbage Pail Kids together, and now I'm going back to get PSA graded copies. Now, I'm not trying to get the highest grade or anything. I'm trying to get centered copies. I'm kind of start from the back. And that's my main criteria on these, is just that they're centered. If you look at a lot of these cards, they're so off-centered, like especially the ones that I put together in like my sets that I have in binders, like literally like 3/4 of the cards are super off-centered and stuff. So I found this Blasted Billy, which the A variation, the 8A, is the Atom Bomb. That's a real popular one. I mean, he was on like everything, right? So pretty cool to find the Blasted Billy, which is centered. It's a 5, but it's not perfectly centered, but it's pretty good. I do have actually a PSA 9 copy of Atom Bomb. I bought that way back when they were like, I don't know, a little under $100 to get them. I've got this Itchy Richie, another PSA 5, a great centering on that one as well. A lot of times I feel like these get a lower grade just because they've got some kind of like, maybe like gum residue or something on them. So yeah, I'll go after those all day, you know, if they're centered. We got this Cranky Frankie PSA 5 as well. Hard to really tell the centering on this one since it's like white border, but pretty decent copy for a 5. And Junkie Jeff, PSA 6, well centered again. We've got Bony Joni Authentic. And I don't know why this got authentic. I think the seller might have said it was like a factory cut issue or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, like I said, you know, not really going after the grade. These are all first series. Next video, I'm going to go over second series. So I'd actually forget if I mentioned this or not, but I'm going after first and second series graded. Now this one, not the best centering, but I think I got it for a decent deal. So I'll throw in like a snipe bid on stuff if I can get it for cheap and just put in like a really low ball bid. And if I get it, great, it's part of the set. Maybe I'll replace it later with a better center copy. It's not bad though, to be honest. And then finally we got Slimy Sam. PSA 6, nice centering on that one. A little bit harder to tell the centering on these ones that have kind of more white around the image or whatever. But yeah, that is it, guys. I really thank you for listening to this, watching this. And if you do like these videos, please consider liking the video and please consider subscribing to the channel. It does help me out a lot. And that's going to do it for episode 16. We'll see you on the next one.